Welcome to the Salt Labyrinth podcast. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
Hey, I picked the art is so good. The subject matter was real dense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that it's necessarily a bad thing, because I mean, obviously, like it's done well. But I thought it was gonna be like Klan bad, Superman punch. And it was like a much more nuanced take that's uncomfortably realistic. Just like, ooh,
Yeah, it goes for it.
ooh. Still good, still solid.
I think this comic is excellent.
Oh, dude, first off, the art style delightful. Fucking love it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's
And then
Gurihiru, who did the Gwenpool comic we read.
oh hell yeah.
And also this exact creative team, Gene Luen Yang, who also wrote it. This is the team who did the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics.
Hell yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
I love the format too. How it's like, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't done much Superman. That's kind of why we're here. But the fact that we're kind of getting it, like we're following. I mean, it's not her name, but they call her it the whole time. Roberta, is it Lan Shin?
Mm-hmm.
Lan Shin.
Yeah, I think I just remember it's LL because of fucking course it is.
Yeah.
Len Shin, yeah.
Following her, and then also like following Superman and how they're thematically related because immigrant and alien and stuff, and like, oh, that shit was good.
Yes.
It's hard, it's difficult because you come hot off the trail of reading a couple volumes of Fist of the North Star, and you're like, why aren't the racists exploding from the inside out? Mildly disappointing, but like
They didn't explode into pools of blood everywhere.
yeah, the fact that like, oh man, we got that panel when Superman is finally like he has this heart to heart and everything, and he like decides to use his full abilities, and we get that panel of him with his fucking eyes glowing and he's hovering. Oh, you want it to be followed up by a Nazi, Nazi, right? It's all kind of the same. You want it to be followed up by one of the Klan members' heads like exploding into red mist, but like I get why we're not, it's Superman. But
Superman's gonna save everyone.
yeah.
He's not gonna hurt people like
I
that.
guess. No, this shit was very good. And so the order I did things in was I read the little Wikipedia article you had linked about like the radio show and the
Yeah, because the radio drama is like the first non-comic, like big popular thing, and the Fleischer cartoon that we watched like takes its cues from that, and then also the radio drama is where this comic gets its inspiration. Because it ran a Clan of the Fiery Cross story for like 16 episodes or something.
yeah. And that was that's super interesting. I thought the cartoons were fine. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't want to fucking watch like a shitload of it, but I love that kind of art style. That old school like. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, no, that's to me like that's formative. Like this is like level 1. Like this is what Superman is he's a guy who punches a laser beam.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, the fucking beam. I was like, oh, beam struggle. Yeah.
Just like the physicality of it.
I had to.
Like there was no character to that. So yeah, like I don't really care about these shorts beyond these first couple.
Sure.
But these first two, I think because of the second one is the one I saw first, I think, are just burned into my skull, like forever. But like there's just like those shots of like he jumps when he like leaps into the air in the second one, and then he just like starts slowing down and is like looking down.
Yeah,
There's something about just like there's something about the way it's animated that's just impeccable.
Oh yeah.
And it's also like the Batman cartoon that I grew up with, the 90s Batman animated series. Like that's way more taking from these shorts than it is like anything else, honestly. Like
Okay.
its vision of a Gotham is of being like super gothic and stuff. Like a lot of what it's pulling from is like doing this but for Batman.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, they were solid. I mean, the point. I'll be honest. The the standout moment is at the end of the second episode where the show is fading out and fucking Clark Kent spikes the camera and gives a little sup nod to the viewer. Lost my mind. Because I think in the first episode he does like a little wink, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, like a wink to the camera, sure, why not? And then the fucking nod, I was like, oh man, Superman just fucking gave me a little sup nod. That's incredible. Yeah,
the other reason to not watch more of them is to get racist at some point.
That fucking tracks. I mean, even coming from a modern viewer's perspective, I understand that like the tolerance for violence in these was like fucking rock bottom, right? But like the fact that the second one where I think where the dude cat ties up Lois Lane and I forget what he said. He's like, you'll talk or you'll do something. Like he's going in to like beat her or whatever, and the fucking camera fades out. I'm like, this makes it seem so much worse than it is, I guess. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of shit. This makes me think it's so much fucking worse than him just like hitting a woman or whatever. So that was
not gonna show that though.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Also, we will show Superman beating up a shit ton of robots.
That's fine. Robots aren't people.
And that rules.
We got a fucking wiggly building. That was incredible.
Yeah, that building like falling over and Superman like just like gently putting it back.
Yeah, it just like wobbles. It's like a dong that's gone flaccid, and he just pushes it up and then like pulls it back into place with the spire on top. I'm like, this is completely unrealistic, and also like one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that part is so good.
Floppy building. Oh,
that's fucking 1941.
Yeah. The dude, like, he caused mass mayhem. He like took out one section of a single bridge. That's really? That's all it takes? Fuck.
I mean, you know, you pull up a bridge, that's a big deal.
I didn't even see any cars coming off the bridge, man.
Well, all the cars were also vaporized.
There
were cars on the bridge before the laser hit it.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, the laser effect, like the laser was cool as hell. Watching it operate and stuff, and it cranking up. I loved all the art and the music.
Yeah.
Him fucking bopping on people, punching the robots to the music. Oh, what a great thing that needs to be done more.
Yes, agree.
Little string hits while he's like, bah, bah, bah.
Yeah,
love it.
And there's just like he's just animated like a person.
Yeah.
He like he had his physicality and like his size and muscle. He's just like a buff guy, and he just does impossible things. It's so good.
Yeah,
because that is a thing with like a lot of modern versions of Superman that don't hit me as hard, and the design is just, which this does a little bit too, of just making him like huge. The complete barrel chested Superman doesn't quite do it for me the way the like more like a normal person
Ev-
figure for him, because I find like then when he does the ridiculous things, then it's more impressive.
I was about to ask,
It hits harder, I think.
has there ever been like a dad bod Superman? Like just a completely fucking like bit of a gut, like just a dude. That would be like prime.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I think I don't know, the closest might be like Kingdom Come or something.
Mm. But yeah, this was yeah. So what?
So yeah, I just wanted you to have like that context, because that's the thing I always, in terms of like Superman is like, I feel like modern versions of him don't hit it the way that does, and I just wanted you to have the distilled idea in your head.
Yeah. No, that's that's
because and this is like this comic. It as much as it's like inspired by that old radio drama, it's still taking a lot of its idea of Superman from modern stuff, like
Sure.
the line about the S on his chest being a symbol for hope.
Yeah. I that one.
Like that idea is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's like early 2000s. Like the crystal thing. That's that Richard Donner movie
Oh, okay.
for the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah. And like the Superman's eye beams with his eyes going completely red. That's like I don't know where that starts. I tie it back. The thing I super draw to is there's an Alan Moore comic
Okay.
that's really good, but like there's a moment in it where Superman has snapped and he says "fuck it." He like says "burn," and he's like using his heat vision.
Oh God. Yeah. Did we talked about like Superman stuff? Did we do that on the last episode? Did we like go into depth about like Superman and choosing these comics, or was it in chat?
I think it was in chat.
Okay, so this was part of the, because I knew it was a thing, and I said it, mentioned it, and then you like confirmed that, yeah, like a lot of the like stuff that people point to for Superman as far as what's good is like the shit that subverts like normal basic bitch like hero Superman. Like you said,
Yes.
like, oh, Superman's crying. Like, I don't want to start with that.
Yeah.
I really wanted, like, because I have zero experience aside from like cultural osmosis of
Yeah.
Superman, and like this was about right.
Yeah, like the story people bring up the most is All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. But that's a story that starts out with Superman learning he's dying.
Great.
Like, I just don't, that's not level 1.
Yeah. And see, like that, and the thing is that I feel like that can't hit as hard as it should be able to if you don't have the other stuff first, you know?
I agree.
Like,
Because that's the thing. Like, for me, again, Superman was watching that, like, putting on a VHS tape of Looney Tunes, and that Superman short comes on, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. So this was you gave me 4 like saucy options. I was greatly enticed by all of them. Because you had the first one was, oh, I can't, sorry, I was trying to use my mouse to look, but my mouse isn't plugged in. Let me scroll up here. Yeah, we had, I can't see the names. Identity, I guess.
Secret Identity.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I'm like down for like there's like lockers in the back. I'm like, is this like high school Superman? Like, I'm down. You had
the premise of that one, that's not main continuity DC. The premise of that one is a kid who happens to have been named by his parents Clark Kent, who's like a normal kid in the real world who like reads Superman comics. It turns out he's Superman and has Superman powers.
Oh, that's pretty good. We had the bait cover, that like 80s action, like fucking jacked. I assume that's Superman.
Yeah,
with a beard.
That is Superman. It just like he just has a belt, like 2 shoulder belts.
Yeah, man.
And he's wearing his cape as like over his shoulder and like a loincloth.
Yeah,
and he's just got like a fucking gladiator weapon.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the bait, clearly.
Yeah, that's 90s Superman, I think.
And then the Batman.
I think that's like from the last big storyline, like the big storyline after this is a part of, which was Exile. I think the next thing is like the death of Superman story.
Wild.
In the 90s.
Yeah. And then we had the Batman.
And that Exile story is all like Superman feels bad because a bad thing happened or something.
Sure.
So he's just like exiled himself from Earth. He's just like bopping around being sad.
Great. That's what I want.
But like that issue is like he wounds up on War World, which is like it's like Planet Hulk but Superman, except it's only lasts like 2 issues and it's embroiled in. It doesn't really have a real ending because it's embroiled in this whole other story.
Gotcha.
But it's enticing in that it's Planet Hulk but Superman.
Yeah, I mean that would have been a hard. Like I would have been hard pressed to skip it. And then the Batman Superman cover, which like kind of the most enticing cover in terms of art. That art on the cover is fucking incredible.
And the art in the comic is fucking incredible.
What's the title of it? I mean, Worlds Apart.
That one, well, it's that's chapter 1. It's like it's 3 chapters. It's World's Finest.
Oh, okay.
Is the name. Batman Superman World's Finest, which is like the name of like a billion comics also.
Yeah.
They've reused that one a lot. Yeah, and I hadn't read that one actually. I'd had it on the shelf for a long time, and then I was going through it looking for stuff, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is fucking incredible!" I was like kind of taken aback at how fucking good it actually looked, and how much of my shit it was. Like in terms of like those characters looking iconic, like that is a comic where Superman just stands around with his hands on his hips. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, then I mean we had the one that kicked. We had Superman Smashes the Klan, which is what we ended up reading. I'll be honest. It just like struck me. I don't know. I think maybe because it was like what's the word? Not like cartoony, clean. Like the cleanest cover in terms of art. Like just simple but effective. Like it looked good. The idea that I was fucking disappointed though. This cover baited me. I thought he was gonna throw that truck at the Klan, and he didn't. No truck got thrown at any racists.
No.
He just flew a truck of they got in the truck.
The biggest thing he does is he jams that kryptonite gun with a lead ball.
Yeah. Well, dude, then all the racists hopped in a truck and he flew off. I'm like, oh, he's going to throw the truck. And he doesn't. He takes it to a jail.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a reference to Action Comics.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Anyway. So that, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch Superman fight racists. And also, like, I was like, what the hell is this girl's deal? Like, is she a superhero? Like, does she get powers or something? And she does. I mean, she's a super person. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But, no complaints.
She's great.
Oh, dude, she's so great.
A good protagonist.
And just the art, like, the fucking... I guess I'm going to call it, like, go-lucky art, Like, they're holding their fists, like, with the mouth open and they're happy or, like, determined or something. Like, man, it's just so fucking good.
I love that shit so much.
Yeah, dude. then, like, Lois Lane is like, I was serious about the Cub Reporter thing. She's like, really? And it's like her running off, and she's like getting the story. Man, incredible. Yeah, and then we got all the fucking nuanced takes on how the fucking bigotry and hate is just to get money and keep people believing they're better than others so that the people actually in charge benefit and all this other shit. And I'm like,
sometimes that is a distinct facet of that kind of thing.
Yeah. But like, that's what the guy, when whatever dude was like, you actually believe this garbage? You're buying your own bullshit. Like, we're not doing it because we believe it.
Don't get high in your own supply.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. And then the Grand Scorpion dude like turns on the main guy because he doesn't believe it. I'm like, I've watched this episode too recently. Like, I don't like this, but they got punched in the end, so. Well, not even punched, some of them. That one dude got flicked. He was like, please don't punch me. And Superman's like, you would die. Flick.
Yeah, like the way it, but because it's also the way it hits like all the angles of like subtle racism too. Like that kid's mom being like, I put all the Klansmen in jail, but we do just want to live with people like us.
Yeah.
Which he then repeats. Because
he
doesn't want to believe his family's evil.
Yeah, dude. And the same, I mean, this is like this is the fucking struggle. Someone who came from the middle of fucking nowhere, Wisconsin, like, it's such a hard thing where he's like, he's not a bad guy though. Like, he helped me and my mom and blah blah blah, and like, that's a thing that fucking sucks. Like, people being really good in one way, right? And like, completely fine, totally fine. And then there's this big fucking tumor in their outlook of the world that's just like, this is not acceptable. But it also, you've like helped me decisively since I was a child. Oh, yeah. Like, it's just a mess. This comic handled it like, it was very good.
Yeah.
Fucking navigate.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm glad I picked it though. I feel like I made the right. I mean, I don't think there was a wrong choice. Unless you put a wrong choice. Unless you put the bait cover in knowing it was bad.
Oh no. I mean, I already owned this comic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I hadn't read it before, but it's like, because it's one I'd been wanting to get to, but just hadn't pulled the trigger on.
Sure.
Because like, I was sure it was good, and I was not wrong.
Oh, and the essay at the back was really cool too. I did go through that.
That was a good history.
Yes.
With personal touch.
I mean, they're I think the Wikipedia article, I think, also mentioned it, but reading about how like Superman, the radio show story of this, where Superman takes on the Klan, and the fact that that's like one of the things that like obviously not eliminated them, but like kind of, I don't know how to
hurt their public perception.
Hurt their public perception, yes.
Superman literally fought the Ku Klux Klan.
That's fucking incredible. Like, that's 10 out of 10.
It just is. Like, that's just, it's just amazing. It's like, Superman, like, really made a positive difference in the world in some way.
Yeah, no,
like, he did.
Yeah, that shit is fantastic. And like, I think, Yeah, it was in the essay where he's like the portrayal of the Klan as bumbling rubes and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, the accurate portrayal. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking love it. And that was the other thing. The fact that they handled it. I wish they would. I guess maybe I would have done something different. Not even like violent different, but I would have used like a different angle about the fact that the kid who's like at the time, Chuck, I think Chuck was like the Grand Scorpion's nephew who he was like trying to indoctrinate and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, also Superman is his like literal like his hero, like he's Superman's biggest fan and all that shit. And like I would have pushed that angle more, slightly more, or rephrase something. I don't know, because that's a thing too, right? Like,
yeah,
how can you be doing this shit and also you like Superman, dude? But like he came out of it, pretty much. And the assimilation stuff, like Tommy making the joke, like the self-depreciating jokes and shit to like fit in.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it does not pull punches.
Yeah, but the art is so chipper.
Except, Superman is always pulling his punches, though.
Superman is literally always pulling his punches. I gotta build up with this, because then at some point, I assume, in some comic, he doesn't pull a punch, and I want it to fucking hit.
It's the end of the Justice League cartoon, in case you're wondering when it happens. It's not very long, though, but he has a whole speech about it. It's pretty good.
Nice. I'm down to get there someday. Down to meander our way there. Yeah. This was
those 90s, the like 90s Superman cartoon, the 90s Batman cartoon, they're like super formative for me, but those have like more of like those also are part of like the modern trends that I'm now sick of, even though like within those they didn't ever bother me or whatever. So there's some there. That's why I'm just like less eager to get to some of that stuff. But.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and the other thing that I didn't talk about, after thinking about, is like the reason that so many Superman stories are the subversion thing. Like, I'm pretty sure that's Alan Moore's fault, because like he wrote some really good Superman stories that are that, so that's what everyone copies.
Yeah.
For like the same reasons that Watchmen is the thing that everyone copies. Like, dude was good, but there are other ways to do stories, guys.
Yeah. I like the happy, not even necessarily super happy, but like I just want the straightforward stuff,
Or like determined and good-hearted, not like...
Yeah, I was gonna say like even because like you have I'll take our 3 recent, well, not recent, 2.5 recent. We have Goku and we got the Ken from North Star, who are recent, and I'm gonna toss Aang in there because I think for the most part all 3 of those people are pretty, like, they don't stray, right? Because like Aang maybe, I guess, more than the other 2 a little, but like his whole deal is that he's sticking so hard to his beliefs that he has a problem.
Aang does the thing that it does frustrate me, in that he gets all hung up on not killing the bad guy.
Yeah,
in like a way that just gets annoying.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, okay, don't kill him or kill him. Like, he's fucking evil. But like, I don't need you to fucking angst about it in this way.
Yeah, just put him on. I mean, he could have, should have done what Goku did. Just put him on the fucking moon.
Just send him to the Shadow Realm.
Send him to the fucking Shadow Realm. But yeah, just that uncompromising goodness, at least, and certainly for Goku and Ken in different ways. Like, That's really. I don't need it. I don't want to watch a superhero, a literal superhero, like questioning the morality of their deeds or some bullshit. Not right now,
Yeah,
anyway.
uh-huh. And that's the thing for me is like, if you want stories with like characters who have complex morality, like read about a different character. Like,
Yeah, dude.
you don't have to read about Superman. Superman should be Superman. I don't need him to be something else.
Yeah.
Although the funny thing about Superman's history is like part of Superman becoming more Superman was like the way he like the property devoured Captain Marvel as a property. Like the Shazam Captain Marvel.
Yeah, yeah.
Cuz like that comic came out and had all the Silver Age Superman stuff comes about because like there's a lawsuit over Captain Marvel with DC and comics, I forget I think Timely, but who made Captain Marvel, and like DC wins that, saying that was copyright infringement. But the big thing they do is they hire like the creative team, like they hire the writer who is writing those Captain Marvel stories to write Superman stories. So Superman becomes, that's when Superman gets all these weird powers, because the person who was writing Captain Marvel starts writing him.
That's pretty wild.
It's kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah. Huh. I mean,
and it's very funny because like that era of like, so one of like the supporting characters in Shazam is Tawny the talking tiger, and he wears this green suit.
Yeah, of course.
So when Otto Bender is writing that stuff, when he takes over Superman, he puts Jimmy Olsen in that suit.
Incredible. Man.
It's just a thing that happened because of copyright law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know there's the big question on everyone's mind. Where are we going next?
True. That's what I want to know.
I mean, part of me wants to stick with Superman. I think maybe wander down this path a little more. I'm wondering if we could, like, it's like a two-pronged thing. Is there like because I know there's like some, I don't know which one is which. There's like Power Girl. Is it Power Girl? Is there a Supergirl, Power Girl, Power Woman, Superwoman? Like
Power Girl is Silver Age Supergirl post-crisis.
Which is the one with the tit window?
Yeah, Power Girl.
Okay.
Technically she's supposed to be like the original Supergirl, who's been allowed to exist in our universe despite not being from our universe. That's like the conception of Power Girl as a character.
Great.
Not complicated at all.
Well, I was thinking, like, is there the equivalent? Doesn't have to be like Power Girl or even a DC character or DC comic necessarily, but like just a
Detective Comics,
a lady equivalent of Superman in the vein of like the whole uncompromising like goodness sort of deal, and a comic that exudes that. I guess Wonder Woman also comes to mind, but just something.
Yeah, I've never found a Wonder Woman comic I loved, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like it has to be, if the uncompromising good, that has to be a DC thing. Like the whole thing is Marvel is all like is built on its characters being complicated and shades of gray, whereas DC was built on these like more simpler characters, but then DC just like apes Marvel and tries to make all its uncomplicated characters more complicated in ways that I think don't always work.
Yeah.
In modern comics. But yeah.
Or like Superman teaming up with somebody if you ever did like a sidekick thing. Just like staying in the same vein, but maybe evolving it a bit if possible, in a way that doesn't get edgy. I want more things, but I don't want them to be dark things. Alternatively, just like, I mean, if that's
that World's Finest comic is really good. Just because that's the front of my brain.
I was gonna say
Batman
like, otherwise
Superman
just
one.
the Batman Superman one, like it might just be that. I mean, we can do that. I'm good doing that.
Yeah,
if that's the thing.
I think that's a good one.
Out.
Just because I was like, I'm really taken with that one currently.
So, yeah, we can call that.
I'm definitely starting there. I could like think about other examples, but
and the temptation to make you do so is great, but
I mean that's most of the fun for me of this whole project is coming up with running through comics like, okay, what are the good starting points? Like, let's really break this down. Like because I like stared at so many lists people had of best Superman comics. I'm like, no, you're wrong. That one's bad, actually.
Hell yeah.
And also, those lists are all so samey. It's like you would think there were only like 10 Superman comics written or something.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, even remotely. Yeah, no, I'm good to do that. We can.
So we'll do World's Finest.
Yeah. Bye.
I don't remember.
Wow, fake fan. Holy shit. I thought you were the guy. You're just a poser.
No, I'm a guy who can't remember names.
If only all of the names, if only everybody's name had the same.
Name was Goku.
First initial and last
Dave
initial.
Gibbons and Steve Rude.
I mean, it'd be a lot easier to remember if it was Dave Gibbons and Steve Sood. I constantly have to not dox myself because I totally have a comic name. And it's so tempting. I want to shout it to the world.
I know Stan Lee named all his characters double letters because he couldn't fucking remember anybody's name. So that was like his trick to try and help him, although it didn't always help when he would misname Bruce Banner, Robert Banner. But I don't know why all the LLs in Superman comics.
It's just fun.
All the great loves of Superman's life. Lois Lane, Lana Lang, and Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. I don't suppose Lan Shin comes up again, does she? Like, is she a character? Or is this just
I don't think.
Yeah, call me in 10 years. She'll be a fucking... Like, she'll be the next, like, Batwoman or Batgirl or whatever. She'll fall. It'll be a whole thing. Just give it time.
You know, she's not in any other stories.
Or she'll be the heroine of a comic where Superman is transformed into a giant dog. He becomes Super Dog. I know that's an entity already or whatever. But like then the comic is her like in the like she's in a costume and she's like riding Super Dog and fighting. Like it'll be a whole thing. It'd be great. Calling it now.
As long as nobody brings Super Horse.
No Super Horse. That is cursed. That is a cursed fucking idea. The whole thing.
Yeah, well, you read about Super Horse, you're like, no, No.
I mean, I find horses to be kind of cursed animals to begin with.
That's just because you've read Gulliver's Travels.
No, my sister was a horse girl.
Fair enough.
And I was around horses, and we never really liked each other. Any of them.
Sure.
Like,
I was fine with horses until the end of Gulliver's Travels. Then I could never look at them the same.
like, what do you know? You shitbag. Yeah, I don't like it's anecdotal evidence, it's observational evidence, whatever. The amount of times that I would walk past a horse and they would choose that moment to either fart or shit was like it was suspicious. It was suspect.
I'm pretty sure they just do those things pretty often.
It wasn't when anyone else was walking by.
Maybe they just weren't bothered by it. You just were hyper fixated.
I don't think so, man. Whole family is at the barn and everybody walks past and all the horses are waiting until I'm walking past to be like, that's a declaration of war.
Farting.
Yeah, repeatedly farting in my face. I will take up arms against you in my
You're
head.
just that guy that's just like says pull my finger and then starts laughing.
Is there something about me?
They just think you're a guy who can take a joke.
Yeah, fair.
A comedy lover.
Yeah, fucking horses just eating hair. Hey, check this guy coming out. He looks like he enjoys a good bit of comedy. Watch this. And I would too if it wasn't always at me.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Circle Podcast, gmail.com, Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, anchor.fm/Salt Circle. Podcast is hosted various places where podcasts are hosted. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter.
Good choice.
Hey.
Although without Twitter, I wouldn't have seen that drawing of Cookie Monster, Elmo, and Kermit as the forms of Shin Godzilla.
You probably would have if you would have subbed to the r/Godzilla subreddit.
That's true, but then I would have to use Reddit.
I'm not
chose
saying,
my
look,
dark
I'm
voices.
I'm not saying there's good alternatives. I'm just saying there are alternatives.
It's true. It's true. But Reddit would not be the one I go to.
Yeah,
it would be
that's
Tumblr.
Also smart. Look at us making good choices.
Anyway, peace.